How can entrepreneurs compete against the big brands and win? How is that even possible, right? So if you have been online very much, you've seen a lot of competition. You've seen a lot of brands, particularly Amazon, right? Dominates seemingly everything. And for good reason, but that's a lesson for another day. But one of the things, how do you compete against Amazon, right? This giant behemoth of everything. How can you compete against Amazon? How can you compete against Nike? How can you compete against these massive McDonald's? Hey, Thomas. How can you compete against these people, right? Or these companies that are so huge? Is that even possible to compete and win against these huge companies? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can. You can beat them, you can fight against them, and you can win in these situations. And that's what I want to share with you guys tonight, okay? So it's really interesting. And it all kind of boils down to this phrase, which is giving value. Now, part of the confusion that people have with this is that the word value, we often kind of think, oh, value. Value is price. Value is how much something's worth. Value is savings, right? That's another word we use for value sometimes. That's a good value. It means it's cheap or something like that, right? We have these word associations with that word value. But when we're talking business, when we're talking marketing, value has a very specific definition. It's a little bit different. So value is what that thing is worth to the buyer, to the individual. But it's not just value, having value. That's not the key. The key is giving value. And that's this phrase together, to give value. Okay, Braden, you're not helping me out very much. Okay, let's explain. Let's make this a little better. So if we do, let's say McDonald's, right? McDonald's makes a hamburger and they set the price. The price is $1. Okay. How do you beat that? Most people's reaction to that is, oh, I'll do it for 99 cents, right? We'll beat them on price. We'll undercut them in some way. We'll be cheaper, okay? That is not giving value. That is competing on price. Hey, Sergio. That is not the same thing, okay? And if you try and undercut, especially these big brands, Nike, Amazon, McDonald's, GE, Apple, or Google, if you try and undercut these people, they will destroy you because this is what they do. They have hundreds of PhDs who their only purpose is to undercut everybody, right? So you can't compete them on undercutting. You have to compete them on giving value. So what does that mean, giving value, okay? So if I set the price of a hamburger, right, as $1, okay, hamburger, $1. I can't undercut them because they're going to beat me. So what am I going to do? I need to give value. Okay, give value. Okay, if the value of a hamburger is $1, I need to give more for $1. So you stay at the same price. You stay at the exact same price as McDonald's, say $1 for a hamburger, but instead of doing $1 for a hamburger, like right together, you do $1 for a hamburger and fries. You do something more for that same price. You do this, and you literally give more value for that exact same price. That is how you beat them, okay? Because these giant corporations can't actually do that. If they increase, the price of a hamburger by 1 cent, it's not one hamburger, right? There's, 100 million hamburgers a day or however much McDonald's makes, tons of hamburgers every day. 1 cent adds up really, really fast for them. Entrepreneurs who are on this smaller scale don't have to compete with that, right? We're not dealing on this massive scale. We don't have marketing and operations and human resources and communications and administration and CEOs and stock people to deal with and compliance. So we don't have that. It's just like usually me and you and that guy over there and somebody off in China that was helping us write stuff. Like, it's really simple. So we can give a lot more at the same price really easily. It's not that hard, simply because we don't need as much money as they do. Okay, so here let's switch this around for a different example. Like if I want to make shoes, right? So shoes, a pair of Nikes costs $100, okay? So Nike costs $100. Can I make a better shoe than Nike? Of course, right? Lots of companies make better shoes than Nike, okay? But $100, if I try and undercut Nike, they're going to compete with me, and they've got all this advertising, they have all this face value. We just can't compete with that. They're too big. But we can say, okay, your shoes are $100, our shoes are $100, our shoes are better, and we're going to add in this. We're going to add in this free training course on how to exercise better. We're going to add in this thing because it's so cool. We're going to add in this thing that's so cool. And this other thing, which is so cool. And we add these bunch of extra things. We literally give more. And that's what allows us to beat Nike. Right? So for $100, they get shoes. And from us, they get shoes too. But they get so much more with us that we end up winning. And that's how you win at this game, especially in entrepreneurship. And I remember, it's kind of funny. I was trying to figure this out. I'm like, what is everybody talking about giving value? There's one marketer's name's Russell Brunson. Some of you have probably heard of him. And he talks about the value ladder. Like, okay, why isn't it just like, and basically a value ladder is these steps, okay, where you increase your prices. Here's the cheap stuff. Here's the medium price stuff. Here's the expensive stuff. That's a value ladder. But I'm like, why doesn't he just call it a price ladder or an offer ladder or more expensive stuff ladder or something like that? No, he calls it a value ladder. So what is this value ladder idea? And I'm sitting there and I'm watching him offer. I'm watching him explain these things. And I'm like, I don't get it. Like, what are you talking about with this value ladder? And I remember I was trying to evaluate these two different courses, trying to evaluate a Facebook course against another Facebook course. And I'm like, okay, what about this one? What about this one? Okay, what about this one? Okay, this one's okay. And what about this one's okay? Like, that's all right. And I'm just looking at price, right? Okay, this one's, $600, and that one's, $500, okay, and I'm getting the cheaper one. Okay, so in that sense, that's not a value example. Okay, that one, the cheaper one, won. Okay, so a value, the person who won in value is, I was going to tell you his name. I'm not going to tell you his name. So several years ago, I was learning programming, PHP, Python, CSS, HTML, JavaScript, those programming languages for web development. I'm like, okay, I need to learn web development. What am I going to do? I'm going to have to go back to school. Ugh, I don't want to go back to school. What am I going to do? So I started looking. I'm looking at universities. I'm looking at programs online. I'm looking at all of these different things. And then I find this guy who's selling a course on programming. I'm like, okay, web development. Okay, I look at it. I'm like, that looks like a nice course. And I come over and I look at a university, one of the top universities in the country. And over there on their offering, I'm like, okay, we got CSS and HTML for the first semester. Okay, and over here, then we've got, PHP, an entire semester of PHP. Okay, and we've got Python for a whole long time. Okay, that's a lot. And I look over, so that's, 3-4 semesters worth of stuff. And tuition is how much? Okay, so that's, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 for those 5 classes, $10,000 for those 5 classes. I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of money for 5 classes on stuff like that. I look over here, I look at this guy on this course, okay, bam, 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 okay, this guy is teaching all of the same stuff. Wait. And these guys are going to take 1.5 years of my life to learn these things, to teach these things to me. This guy can teach me in 46 hours. 1.5 years of my life and $10,000. This guy over here is going to do the same thing. Teach me all of that same information, all of the same course material, all of the same knowledge, all the practical same abilities, the same thing. And it's $1,000, a lot of money still, but it's condensed and it's focused and it's more. So not only is it cheaper, but it's significantly more. It's this massive, massive, complete web developer course. It's this giant thing. But I'm sitting here going, what's the point here of this university course? And the answer was none, right? I never took that course. I purchased the web development course and it's been great. It helped me more than anything I did at the university. So it was awesome. But that was like this idea where it kind of started clicking for me. I'm like, wait, How does this one guy who's a web developer, how can he compete against these giant schools? They have, so many people who can come in and all of this different money and how you can't compete against them. But you can. And that's the key, right? It's giving value, where you literally give more than the big brands or your competitors or the other people in your market. You give more than them, okay? Now, the big question that comes up, and this is a very difficult question to answer, is what do you give more? Okay, and I'm going to pause on that. I'm actually going to end this video here, and I want you guys to think about that. What do you give more in your offer, the thing that you're building for them? If I've got, $100, green drink, $100 bucket of protein drink, and then the other guys have a $100 protein drink, I need to give something more in order to beat them. What? What do you give? Okay? And the short answer to this is it varies by market and by a whole bunch of things. And that's actually one of the things that I do. Customer satisfaction, very important. Okay, good. But that's the key, right? By giving more value, you actually get customer satisfaction. That's right. It's perfect. Good job, Sergio. Thank you. That's how you can achieve that happiness, right? For your customers. But that idea, right? How do you figure out what I need to give that's more? Do I give extra laces on my shoes? Or do I give a training course? Do I give access to my cool app on the App Store? Do I give what? What is it? Okay? That's actually what I help people do with their courses and with their products, is I help them decipher what is that piece that you can give more so that you can beat your competition. Okay? And that takes a lot of thought, and I want you guys to think about that. What's the thing that you can do more in your business? And it will change everything you do if you can answer that question correctly. Okay? I hope that was helpful for you guys. You can beat these giant companies. You really can. I see people do it every single day. This is not random. This is not accident. This is science. It's repeatable. It's consistent. There's a framework for this, multiple frameworks for this that we can all follow to compete against these giant brands. Yes, you can do it. And we can do it together if you want some help. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you again later. Bye.